with everything going on right now, like, the least we could do is tax the rich a little more.
So what if the rich, the guys who are like the business owners in New York and are making all the jobs and stuff, what if they decide to leave if they raise taxes on them? And they go to like Texas or Florida?
I don't know, man.
What do you think could be a second order effect of freezing rents? Do you think socialism is going to be successful here in New York City?
I doubt it. But you never know. You know, I mean, only because it's money rules everything, right?
Do you know anywhere else where socialism has worked well, you think? Other countries maybe?
Well, it definitely didn't work in the Soviet Union because they crashed.
So have you seen what happened to Cuba? Like, what do you think about Cuba?
Oh, bad shape. They've been left in bad shape for years now.
Hey guys, this is Matt Miller with Political. Today we're here in the West Village in New York City, and we're asking people what do they think the effects of Zohran Mamdani's socialist policies will be if he's elected here as mayor of New York City.
I have to come clean. I have something to hide.
Let's go talk to some folks. Are you a fan of Zohran Mamdani?
Yeah,
Why?
because I think that he is the candidate that New Yorkers have been looking for and asking for a long time.
What specific policy or agenda points do you like that he said he's going to do?
Rent freeze in New York, I think, is a great thing. There are a lot of people struggling to pay rent right now, and with, really greedy landlords that keep jacking up the prices, it makes New York City more and more unaffordable for people.
What do you think could be a second order effect of freezing rents?
I mean, I don't really see any other effect besides, making it a more affordable city for people, allowing people to not have to worry month to month whether or not they're going to have somewhere to live. Yeah.
So if you were a real estate developer and you had to go to the bank and get a loan and take on risk, and your profit was now limited because of rent freezes, would you choose to do business here in New York or maybe in a state that doesn't have rent freezes?
Listen, I'm not a real estate mogul. I'm not a businessman. And if I'm being quite honest, I'm not really worried about the interests and the worries of real estate developers and greedy people who are more focused on making money than helping people live affordably in a city where, that's what should be allowed of everybody.
Are you guys fans of Zohran Mamdani?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's cool.
What do you like about him?
I like that he's out there talking to people. He's out there trying to be a person of the people as opposed to being some politician that's kind of removed from everybody. He's like, my wife loves him because he speaks Spanish. I don't know, he has a pulse of what people really might need as opposed to what corporations think we need. I don't know.
Now, do you think socialism is going to be successful here in New York City?
I doubt it. But you never know. I mean, only because it's money rules everything, right? So
do you know anywhere else where socialism has worked well, you think? Other countries maybe?
Well, it definitely didn't work in the Soviet Union because they crashed. Part of the reason why I can't say his name now. Mamdani is rising is because the New York's prices are getting out of control, and then used to be like, okay, now food shopping used to be cheap. Now you go to the grocery store and it's like, to feed a family of two for 3 days is like $200. We need some socialist policies to help just keep things in check.
Do you think that the government-run grocery stores are going to be successful that he's proposed?
The problem with everything is anytime there's a government thing, there's some kind of bureaucracy that goes along with it, unfortunately.
Well, that's what socialism is, right?
Right? So there's going to be red tape, there's going to be stuff, but there's problems with the capitalist stuff too. So it's hard to say.
Do you think there's anything that he said he's going to do that might backfire in a way? Raising taxes on the 1%.
Oh, that needs to happen. That needs to happen. That needs to happen because why should Jeff Bezos have a 14 house, a 30-room house, and meanwhile there's people that I have a studio apartment, I could barely pay my mortgage.
So if we raise taxes on the Jeff Bezoses of New York City, what might be a second order effect of that? What could be a consequence of that it backfires?
Oh, if it backfires?
Yeah. Well, for instance, maybe they leave New York. Why do they have to stay here, right? Maybe they go down to Florida or Texas and they take all the jobs.
But at the same time, I think I think the issue part of a bigger issue for me about in New York right now is that like there's all this like housing that's going up, but no one lives there because no one can afford to live there.
Yeah, it's like
So it's like multi-million dollar things. It doesn't matter if they're here or not because they're already not here. Like half of New York is owned by people that don't live here.
Are you gonna like press me for information?
No. We just want to get your opinion.
Okay.
Like, yeah, are you a fan of Zohran Mamdani and why? What do you like about him?
I mean, I like that he wants to make public transportation free and lower the rent prices. I think every New Yorker, especially the ones that have been here for the longest time, should have priority on housing and stuff, and that's not the case. But he wants to make it the case, so I appreciate that.
Okay. So like a New York first agenda, sort of that he has.
Yeah, I think he respects. He has a little bit more respect and interaction with like the community that was here. Like I can appreciate that because you don't really see that from Cuomo.
Yeah, Cuomo. He's more of an establishment guy and kind of an elitist.
Yeah, more than kinda. But
Yeah. No, I got it.
Yeah.
Do you think that like freezing the rents or taxing the rich could have like other consequences if he goes and does that?
I mean, I think everything has consequences, but I think the pros so greatly outweigh the cons in that situation. I think with everything going on right now, like the least we could do is tax the rich a little more.
So what if the rich, the guys who are like the business owners in New York and are making all the jobs and stuff, what if they decide to leave if they raise taxes on them? And they go to like Texas or Florida?
I don't know, man. I'm from Florida.
You're from Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, what if they leave and like, hey, I don't want to pay these high taxes. I'm going to go set up shop somewhere else and take all the jobs with me.
I don't really think that's gonna happen, but I mean, I don't know that much. New York's a very important city. People will pay ridiculous prices to live here if they can, and I think the 1% getting taxed a little more isn't gonna drive them out. But
Okay. What about the rent freezes? Like, what could be a second order effect of that, you think?
I don't know, man. Sorry, I'm like,
Like, you know when like a real estate developer maybe takes like an old broken down building and like renovates it? That's what I'm trying to think of. They renovate it. They take money and they build it up and make it nice again for people to live in. If the rents are frozen, then that means their profit is capped. It's limited. So they're not going to want to take on as much risk going and getting a loan from the bank or something like that to go and make the buildings nice or build new buildings. Are you worried about that, or is that not something you're concerned of?
I don't know. I think big picture, like the important thing is that the people who were born here and want to live here can pay their rent. Like at the end of the day, as long as people have a livable wage, I'm happy, even if there's consequences.
The front runner for mayor of New York right now is Zohran Mamdani. He's a democratic socialist. Do you think socialism is going to work here in New York City if he's elected?
I don't think it would work.
You don't think so?
Socialism, yeah. No.
Do they have socialism in the Dominican Republic?
No. More like democratic, yeah.
It's okay. It's like a liberal democracy sort of thing.
Sort of thing, yeah.
What about? So have you seen what happened to Cuba? Like, what do you think about Cuba?
Oh, bad shape. They've been left in bad shape for years now because of all the dictatorship of Fidel and then whoever rose into power, and there's still like so many people that are still on that mindset in the government over there.
Right. They have no freedoms, and they have socialism there. They have full-blown communism they have for years. They have actually a lot of the ideas that this guy Mamdani wants to do here in New York, like free government grocery stores. They have in Cuba, and there's videos of them like they're empty. People are starving. You can go in there, you can't even get bread or anything.
You can get eggs and cheese and stuff like that. And when they come into the States, they're like so surprised by all the wealth over here and all the resources you could find. So I would guess history does repeat itself. So
Absolutely.
it would happen again.
Well, what would be your message to New Yorkers here if they're going to vote for a socialist?
I don't know, but I guess do your homework, find more about the person, understand their motives, the ulterior motives too, and find a better one.
Find a better person.
Find a better person for it. Yeah.
All right. Why do you like Zohran Mamdani?
I think he has really great policies for the city, and he really sticks to his word. And I really like how he stands on everything he says, 10 toes down. I think his visions are great. I really hope he leads the city to greatness. I really hope we get to see it. And yeah, he's also a great person. I met him at Little Flower. Shout out Little Flower. But yeah, super cool guy. I think he's gonna be great for New York.
Do you think he's going to win? Is he going to be able to beat Cuomo and Adams?
I hope so. I think so. I think his show out in the primaries was insane. I think the canvassing is great. I went out canvass for him a couple times. I know a bunch of people who do, so get out and canvass if you can. But yeah, I think with everyone standing behind him, he has enough movement to win.
Absolutely. So what are some of your favorite policies of his?
I think his freeze on rent stabilized for the rent, I think that's going to be super helpful. The free buses, hopefully he can make that work. I think that's super important, making them fast, free. Everybody loves the bus. I know I love the bus, and I hate when it's delayed, so that would be great. I really think the city-run grocery stores is really interesting. I've been looking into that. I think that could really be great for families too. I know that there's a lot of food deserts in a lot of areas here in New York, so seeing that could really bring some change to those places.
So that sort of concept has been tried before in other places. Are you aware of where that's been tried before?
I haven't looked into it that much, but has it been tried and what
kind of crashed and burned?
Yeah,
I guess.
I think it would take. It's definitely, that's why I've been looking into it. It definitely seems like a bit of a, I wouldn't say complicated, but something that could, be a little difficult to get done. But
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, I was just gonna say I think he has the right mindset to get it done. But yeah.
He could do it? Yeah. I guess the issue with that in the past has been taking the food pricing away from the market, supply and demand, right? So if you're fixing prices to keep them low, you're basically playing around with like the natural invisible hand of the market. And what ends up happening, like in socialist countries like Cuba or Venezuela or the Soviet Union, is the grocery stores are empty. They can't keep the shelves stocked. What do you think would be a second order effect of fixing rents? Like, what would be a consequence possibly of doing that?
Well, I think it all, in a way, it's like we live in a capitalist society, so I think that's where it all leads back to, is it messes up the big system at hand. So I'm not sure what the exact consequences would be, but I know that it would definitely. I think the pros outweigh the cons is what my mindset behind it is. I know obviously not everything is perfect, but yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what the consequences would be. But
yeah, maybe like somebody who is a critic of Mamdani's policy would say it's going to deter speculation and real estate development, building new buildings, renovating buildings that need it, because the people who are the entrepreneurs taking the risk to do that, now their profit is limited because they can only charge low fixed rent prices. So it might scare a lot of those people out of the city, and we might be left with buildings that are falling apart.
Yeah, I heard that the billionaires are being scared out of New York. That was like the main criticism I've been hearing.
You don't think it's going to happen?
I don't think so. Again, I'm not a professional. I don't know much about the real estate market, but I don't see it being too big of an issue where I think it would impact the infrastructure of New York City and everything would just like collapse.
In terms of people wanting to do business here, this is a city that has been thriving off of small businesses since, before gentrifiers like me came and settled down. So I think that without more people like me, to be quite honest, I think probably there'd be more room in the city for small businesses to grow rather than, mass appealing corporations and chains, as if I'm not, a patron of one of them most of the times.
Well, how do you think his policies will affect small business owners too? Because he has said that he's going to raise taxes on the 1%, people making millions of dollars and stuff, right? So, I mean, the hope of every small business owner is one day to make millions of dollars, right? That's the light at the end of the tunnel. But if you limit that, and if you say, hey, we're going to raise your taxes if you are successful after you've taken a risk and you've worked hard, What are your thoughts about that? Do you think that that's fair?
Well, I think the goal of a small business owner is to make a living off of their business, whether that means making $1 million or, making enough to pay rent on the storefront that is now affordable and, not going to be guaranteed to go up in rent every month. The goal is to support themselves, support their families, live a productive and, not stressful life. And I think most business owners in their lifetime are not going to be millionaires. So it's really not going to affect them. It's going to affect, again, the business owners that are making millions of dollars and not being taxed appropriately.
Okay. And if business owners currently or people who run these firms, these corporations and stuff, leave to do business in states that are more business friendly and they take the jobs with them, are you worried about that happening?
Yeah, you know what? That's a possibility. I listen. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much of this you're going to include in your little video.
This is what I'm looking for. Just good conversation.
I'm not an economist. I'm not. I don't have a degree in any of this. I could be absolutely more educated on things. But what I know is that New York. I've been here for almost a decade. I have known people who have lived here all their lives, who've left and come back. What New York is going to do is going to make do and bounce back no matter what big corporations are in it. I think that it will survive and thrive in ways that only New York City can do.
Zohran Mamdani is running for mayor in New York. What are your thoughts about him?
Love him. I really hope he gets elected. Yeah.
What are you hoping he does if he's elected?
Oh gosh, so many things. First of all, just clearing the people who are currently in charge and just bringing new people into management. I'm really excited about the team that he would build. And then just policy-wise, I feel like there's so many things he's talked about that are really cool. One of them that I had never even thought of previously, but was making buses free for people to use. I think that's awesome. Just housing more affordable, just making it easier for people to live in New York. It's yeah.
One of the things he said is he doesn't think billionaires should exist. Do you agree with that?
I do, actually.
Why do you agree with that?
It's just so much, no one needs that much money. It's just if you have enough money where you and your family and closest friends can all live comfortably for the rest of your lives, I don't think there's no reason why you should need any more after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that if he raises taxes on the 1% or the business owners or the billionaires, that they might leave New York and take their businesses and the jobs with them to places like Florida or Texas?
I think that's a risk for sure. But I also know a lot. I don't know. I think the culture that New York has, though, also is so strong that I feel like people want to live here too for a reason, and so
for other reasons.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping those people wouldn't leave just because they want to be here, even if it means they're taxed a little bit higher.
Do you think, broadly speaking, do you think socialism is going to work here for New York City?
Oh gosh, that's a big question. I grew up in France where everything is way more socialist and a lot of it does work. I think any system taken to an extreme kind of has its flaws, and so, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I do think that there's ways where we could kind of course correct a bit without the system completely imploding, you know what I mean?
How is it more socialist in France? Do they have higher income taxes or free healthcare, things like that?
Yeah, free healthcare, higher income tax, especially for wealthier people pay 60% in taxes on their income.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a pushback against that, or are people in France, you think, more happy to pay those higher taxes than Americans?
Yeah, there's not really a lot of pushback. No, I feel like if anything, it's just so ingrained in the society that it's this is kind of normal, and it's a social contract, right? Where it's you pay that much into it, but then you get pretty much most of your education is free unless you're going to a private school. But you can go to a lot of good public schools for free or for close to nothing. Healthcare is free. So, there's ways to live comfortably on less money.
Well, he said he's going to fix rents as well.
That would be great.
Okay, that's another thing that might backfire, or when applied in other places has backfired, like in socialist countries, because now real estate developers don't want to take on that risk. They don't want to take out that big loan.
We have enough real estate.
Or even people renovating, making like areas that are dangerous or broken down nicer, things like that. Like that investment's going to be deterred by higher taxes and more regulation and fixed rents. That would be the counter argument there.
Okay.
So I guess the other side would say there's second order effects to these nice sounding socialist policies that he's.
But there's always, anything you do is going to be some kind of consequence. We've tried it the capitalist way and free market and stuff, and it's like it's fine, but also okay. So here's just a little bit about me. I'm an artist. Okay, I'm a musician, and 20 years ago, the reason why I wanted to be in the city is because all the music was vibrant, and even here in the West Village, you had like all these jazz clubs. There's like 2 left, because the gentrification takes the stuff that made the city cool and is getting rid of that, and it's replacing it with more corporate gentrification stuff. So like, I'm coming in from that angle also. Just to
I love jazz too, by the way, and I think there's not enough jazz clubs left.
Exactly.
What if you worked really hard and you built up a big firm, like a law firm or something? Actually, what do you do, or are you studying?
I'm pre-med. I'm a medical assistant. Yeah.
So if you started and founded like a hospital or something, and you worked your whole life to build that up, and now you're going to be getting taxed more in New York City because of Mamdani's policies, because you've made it, you were successful, you took the risk, you worked hard. Would you move? Would you move operations, or would you think that that's unfair, or would you think that it's okay to get taxed more and to pay more?
I wouldn't move. I wouldn't think it's unfair. I think if I'm making an excess amount of money, not even excess, but I think whatever the rates are for the tax would be in line with what I'm making, and it would be fair enough where like I would still be making enough to live comfortably, because at the end of the day I just want to live comfortably.
I guess it depends on what your margins are, right? Because you have to pay the people below you have to pay for the medicine, everything, keep everything clean, and that costs a lot of money. So if taxes go up, then it might not make sense mathematically to stay in New York. And I think that that's what a lot of Mamdani's critics are saying, like, hey, wait a sec, if we have a mass exodus of entrepreneurs, business owners, people who have built and created jobs here, then that could be a negative effect of some of his policies.
Yeah.
Does any of that concern you, or do you think that are you worried about that or not?
Personally, no. Again, I can see how other people might be worried, but I also think I know that they make up a small percentage of New York. Most of New York is working class, but I also do know that those people that small percentage holds a lot of like the income and wealth in New York and power and like effect. But again, I think there wouldn't be enough. I think it would have to be like mass exodus, like everybody left, for it to really impact New York, but in like a critical way.
If the taxes go up high enough, then eventually that probably will happen. But it depends on how much he wants to increase their taxes.